All right, Heroes Appreciation Day at Scott Stadium, kicking off at 7 o'clock. Really excited to be in front of the crowd. Goodness, the energy that they brought. It'll be awesome, too, to honor military and first responders. Goodness, we, even as a defensive unit, when we break down, every day, we break down with Spitfire, and it honors the Tuskegee Airmen. And it's neat for us to go in Scott Stadium and for holistically as a program for us to honor great men and women from across the country that protect and serve this nation.
Does that mean anything to you? You're an Air Force grad, military person. Does that mean something to you?
Yeah, I tell you what, the opportunity to serve, the opportunity for our guys, frankly, is trying to make sure I'm educating these young men as far as what not only some of their relatives have done, but some people that have blazed paths that have created unbelievable opportunities. And then frankly, as far as it's a neat calling, it's a neat opportunity, and it's something that if you're selfless and you're part of a team and you're willing to sacrifice for something a little bit bigger than yourself, there's a lot to be said for that. And we see a lot of that in the group that we have right now in Virginia football.
In years past, a couple times, you guys have worn those red, white, and blue USA helmets. Do you know if you'll be doing that this time around?
I don't. I know. We do have some gear that Eddie's given to the guys. I know that the coaching staff will have a different sweatshirt on, and then I know that they get the opportunity to wear some gloves as just a small token of appreciation for those service members.
Jacob Holmes has been very disruptive in the interior. How have you seen him kind of change, and where have you seen his biggest development?
Yeah, I think, Jacob, naturally, we're blessed that, he had great experiences prior to coming here. The biggest areas of growth is he's showing up in the run game, and what he's doing is he's taken a natural leadership role because he's been really productive. You know what? He's really coachable. He's intense, and it's fun to coach a guy that, has that combination as far as great work ethic and intensity, and it's showing up on Saturdays.
This is the 5th home night game this year, most in a single season in program history. Does that home night environment energize the defense at all?
Oh, heck yeah. When those fans get cranking there in Scott Stadium, golly, the energy, it makes it tough on an offense. I know that, we got word that staff down the road, they're nervous about, how loud it can get in there, and they might have to change a cadence or do it a little bit different, and that can be very beneficial. Particularly when there's a ton of communication that has to go on both sides, offense and defensively.
And of course, in that Washington State game, there were those clear false starts. Is that something you track and take pride in, opposing false starts that the defense and crowd can generate?
Yeah, no, that's on the crowd. Goodness. Anytime that we got an opportunity to make them really uncomfortable by creating pressure, because you got to play good defense first, and then the crowd gets into it, you just kind of, as a defense, you feed off of that. And so, look for the force side to show up again and get after it.
With Holmes, just to go back to the pressure, when you get it from the interior, what's the benefit for the defense? Like, you've had Melton and Rickert do it a lot this year from the edge. What's the benefit when you get it from the interior too?
Yeah, I think it's any one-on-one. You got to win all your one-on-ones. And so, but yeah, the ability to make sure that a guard, maybe he can't overset and they can't put two hats on a edge guy. It makes our edge pass rush better. And then also what it does is it prevents a quarterback from being able to step up in a clean pocket. And if you can make a quarterback move his feet, oftentimes it's tough for a quarterback to make an off-platform throw.
Cory Cosner showed off his physicality in the win last week when he got that interception and beat the Jesus. When you were looking at him, what did kind of stand about his film that said this guy could fit that nickel position?
Yeah, he was a really good offensive player. He had great ball skills. In high school, was also as a defender, was all over the place. And then, you just see it, and it's a testament to guys to buying into their fundamentals. And again, just look at Coach Cox, put him through that same drill where he lands on the receiver and there's a contested ball and we got to physically rip it from his body. Well, you know what? We put it on film. We might not have done it at that same speed, but nevertheless, as far as guys saying, you know what? If we'll work on our fundamentals, and then frankly, when it comes down to it, will we fight for that football in every inch? And he did that, and he's done that consistently, and it's the second straight week that he's caused the first turnover of the game for our defense.
Were you surprised in how quick he kind of grasped everything coming in January?
I don't think so. His mom went to the best school, University of Virginia. his dad went to, I mean, God, there, I mean, you talk about Ivy League and University of Virginia. There wasn't, I tell you what, he didn't, he's got all the blessings of really, really good talent. And then he's a great worker. And frankly, as far as just as a young man, he's a guy that comes in the building and he works, and that's why he's playing really good football.
Coach Elliott was telling us about the importance of the fours up, that fourth quarter, and finishing, that it's a game of inches. We're somewhat approaching the fourth quarter of the season, if you will. Broadly speaking, in terms of your defense, what needs to change and what needs to stay the same?
Yeah, what we got to do is we got to continue to be great against the run. We're going to have to, again, we're going to have to win contested one-on-ones and minimize big plays, and then we got to find a way to get the ball back, be it situationally on third down or take the ball back and create some takeaways.
Tony, you mentioned that Lake has maybe the most dynamic running back in the league. That's saying a lot. What makes this guy special?
You know, his ability to go from 0 to 100, big, physical, durable, you know, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, and then his jump cut ability. He can move 3 yards laterally really quickly and then reaccelerate. And so the size, the speed, and the lateral quickness are all elite traits that a lot to deal with this week.
You got to feel really good about your run defense especially after last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's every week you kind of throw that one away, and this scheme and what they do schematically, you know, really stressful as far as what they, you know, can do formationally, how they want to have multiple runs. Every week there's going to be a new wrinkle that you maybe, you know, didn't practice or see. And so, you know what, it's another great challenge for us against a really talented group. They're good up front. They got not only they got two tailbacks, and then they got a quarterback that, you know, two quarterbacks that with their feet, they don't have to throw the ball, but with their feet they can do a nice job as well.
I know you still got some football left, but should Cam be in the defensive player of the year conversation in the league?
You know, if we can go 1-0 this week, I sure, if we can go 1-0 this week and he can play, you know, continue to play at the level he has, you know what, he'll have a bunch of opportunities to be honored. And, you know, we all know that we're a product of, frankly, if we can win team football games, then you get an opportunity to potentially get some recognition.
You
What's
held
he
Cal
doing?
to 8 rushing yards last week. That is the lowest the program's had since 2020. We talked to Anthony Britton about it. He actually said he didn't know that, but that he wishes you'd held him to 0 rushing yards. How impressive has the run defense been this year?
You know, at times it's been good. You know, at times we had to be better. So it's, golly, we'll see what we can do this week. And this week is the only thing that matters at this point.
What's something Cam's doing this year that you hadn't seen him do before this season? Is there anything that's standing out?
Yeah,
to you?
no, I think it's just he's doing it just a little bit better, and that's what you'd expect for a really good player that's continuing to mature. And good players get incrementally better, and so he's 1% better at getting downhill. And over the course of a career, that just you know, exponentially, you know, you see that growth. And he's done a great job of getting downhill, being physical, and then making plays when plays present themselves.
If you're an offensive coordinator, how much attention do you pay to him and try to stay away from him, actually?
Yeah, no, I think, you know what, that's always the tough part. You know, it's like you have to have your system, like everyone does across the country. And it's at the same time, what you do is you've got to know who the difference makers are, and guys that can potentially make plays to beat you. It goes for offensive, you know, coordinators, and for defensive coordinators on the other side, looking at, hey, all right, who are the guys that can beat us, and what are the matchups so that we can maximize. But goodness, I know that, you know what, if he'll continue to get downhill, if he'll continue to put his eyes in the right place and continue to execute, and we'll get 11 to execute, that's how you play good defense.